What's going on, everybody? Here's the thing. It has been a long time since I've had a disc golf form review. Honestly, I think the last time I had a form review at all was when I sent my form to the famous Danny Lindahl like years ago.
You're kind of doing a Kevin Jones type thing.
And it's not super easy just to have a disc golf coach at your disposal. I know a lot of good disc golfers, but sometimes it can be a little awkward asking for that. So I'm just going to do it my way. What I've decided to do is I'm going to film myself throwing and I'm going to DM it to 100 pro disc golfers. This is the volume play, okay? I mean, do I expect to get 100 replies? Absolutely not. But I bet I will get just a few from some key players that'll maybe help me along a little bit. And I'm not even asking for specific advice. I just want them to rate it 1 through 10 so that I can get a baseline from pro disc golfers that tells me how good my form is, so I know how much work I've got to do to get to their level. What am I expecting? I don't really know. Hopefully people reply. As I'm filming this, it is currently USDGC weekend, and I've only got a few days for them to reply back, so we'll see if they see it. Hopefully I get some replies. But before we start sending out the messages, we got to get out to the field and film some throws. So let's do that first. All right, so first things first, we got to get some videos of our form to even send out. And I figured I'd go somewhere pretty scenic because that can't hurt. Apparently there's this park like 5 minutes from my house that my wife actually told me about. This place is insane. Got like mountain views and this really cool little shot. I'm also kind of excited because I just got a new shipment from Finish Line Discs and I haven't thrown these yet. I've got 2 new molds and one of them is supposed to be kind of like a zone and then like a straight mid-range. So I'm going to throw those as well, but we're going to try and get the best possible angle of my form so that it looks as good as it can look. But first I'm going to chuck these new Finish Line discs. This is the new overstable mid-range. Oh, it's really overstable. Oh yeah, a lot of stability. That's a good time. Let's see what the mid-range does. Oh yeah, look at that. Just a little pop, but not much, and just kind of straight. Oh yeah, not bad. Just kind of held the Anheuser. Good new disc from Finish Line. Let's get to business. All right, I think I want to get like 2 different shots, and we'll see which looks better. I want to try and frame up like a wide side view shot, and then one from behind, and we'll see which looks best. And I want to get a few different ones, make sure we have our best looking throw possible. So I'm just going to start ripping and try to frame this up. So let's see where the camera is now. I think if I start like back here and release, okay, we'll try this. Wow, I actually mashed that. I hope that was in frame because I feel like I threw that well. I got to check. All right, I just rattled off a few slow-mo shots that I'll look over from the side view. Now let's get some from behind. I think I look much better from this angle because you can't see where my weight is, if you know what I mean. Ugh, I went down the hill. Well, I've chucked a few shots down range. Hopefully some of those angles look good. We'll assess which ones are best and then start sending them out there. So as I look at these videos, I think it's become pretty apparent to me that the sideways views seem to expose my form a little bit more. It starts out good. It's like, okay, yeah, run up, this looks good. Okay, I like the first part of the X step, and then it's good. Oh, and then what happens is all my weight gets stuck right behind my body. Like I feel like I get into a really good point, and then whenever I brace, my lead foot just kind of pivots, and like there's a weight transfer for sure, but I stay really behind it. So I feel like I get into a lot of good positions, and then can't quite pull out of it. And like even when I try to do a throw where I stayed like way more upright, it just it doesn't quite look as good. Um, so I'm not sure if I want to use the side by side view, even though that is the most accurate. I'm obviously looking for, I'm not looking for honesty here. I'm looking for the best possible answer. So But then if you look at the shots I threw from behind, you can't see that sideways weight transfer. You only see it from the back. And so it basically takes out the one big insecurity I have in my form. And you can see the sick mountain view. I mean, come on now. I mean, that looks 1,000 times better. The question is, which one do I do? This one with the nuke, I kind of turned it over straight out of my hand. Oh, that's as good as it gets. That makes there is traps out there on the internet because that view makes me look like I have such good form. But like if you saw the side view, you can see there's a very big flaw in my opinion in the form. So okay, that's gonna be the one we send. Let's start shooting our shot. It's just now hitting me how long it's going to take to DM 100 disc golf pros. I'm just going to pull up the disc golf pro tour standings and just start going down the line. All right, had to borrow another camera from the office so that I can use my phone to send these messages. So yeah, I think that what we're going to do here is we're just going to pull up the disc golf pro tour standings and start going down the list. And we can do some MPO and FPO players. Obviously, both could have some input. And yeah, this is going to be the most direct messages I've ever sent. I do have some of these players' phone numbers. That's not a flex. But I think that would be cheating because like that almost guarantees a response. You know, I want them to want to respond. You know, I'm very needy in that way. So I think it also just be a lot easier to track on Instagram. And I don't have that many players' phone numbers. There's just like a couple that I know. Okay, world standings. All right, first on our list, Gannon Burr. I'll give you like my percentage chance of confidence that the reply. Gannon is like a 95% because I've DM'd him before, and also he definitely is checking his phone during USDGC. Some of these players might be on lockdown. Gannon Burr is not one of those players. There's nothing against him; he's best in the world. I've already got some messages with him. So let's go ahead. I also got to prepare my message. I think I'm going to send the same message to all of them, I think, just to make this a little bit quicker because I don't have a ton of time. I'm actually leaving for USDGC this morning. So we're just going to say, what would you rate my form on a scale of 1 to 10, question mark, question mark, and then I'll put in parentheses, this is for a video BTW, video I'm working on, BTW. Brutal honesty is welcomed. I feel like if I put that in there, some of these players are really going to go above and beyond and just roast me. This might just turn into I had 100 players roast my form. And then smiley face? Smiley face, right? Let's keep it. This is ridiculous, man. There's literally going to be an entire tour of players all walking around like, did you guys get that spam message last night? Like, did that hit your guys? These guys get more DMs than just this. Like, it's USDGC. They're going to be taking pictures with people. Okay, what would you rate my form on a scale of 1 to 10? This is for a video I'm working on. Brutal honesty is welcomed. Okay, we send that. And then I should be able to send videos. Wait, can I not send slow-mo? Oh, gosh. Guys, disaster. This is a disaster. I just sent the first message and I can't send. It won't let me send slow-mo. Is it because the video is technically... Oh, it is longer, even though I... Wait, what? Oh, it appears... Okay, we need to just cut it down even more. Hold on, I'm going to troubleshoot. Okay, problem solved. Slow-mo doesn't appear to work. Doesn't matter. I cut down one of my other clips from the same angle, and we're sending that instead. Perfect. Hopefully it lets me send videos to everybody also. Okay, this is good. They can slow it down if they need to. Not a big deal. All right, on to the next pro. We've got Ricky Wysocki. Chances of response from Rick, I'd put at 1% or lower because I've definitely tried to DM Rick before about coming on shows or something. No, the only DM I ever got back from Rick was him sending like an auto thing about mystery boxes when I DM'd him because I wanted Saki Bomb Slammers or something. Oh, and I forgot to copy my message from Gannon. Dang it. I got to go back. I'd love some form advice from Rick, man. This would be perfect. There is no way. I'm literally a psychopath. All right, 2 down.
Only 98 more to go. Nicholas Antela. Okay. Send and send. Response percentage of Nicholas, not super high. I also don't follow him. I'm going to follow him. That probably didn't help my chances. I'm going to end up following a lot of new disc golfers today. It's not because I don't want to. A lot of times it's just lazy. Calvin Heimberg. Never DM'd Calvin before. Is that for real? Send. I'm literally spamming the entirety of the professional disc golf tour right now. Instagram DMs aren't spam though, because like, unless you follow me, it's literally just going to your like requests. So this can't be spam. Isaac Robinson, okay, my twin. Isaac would fall under the category if he doesn't respond, I'll be hurt. But also, he's in like tournament focus mode right now. So, well, let me just get all the vlog squad while I'm at it. We'll get Alden next. Alden's a good one because he'll respect that I'm working on a video as a fellow YouTuber. So that's great. I'm sending all these messages out now, but I'm not going to check my DMs until like a few days from now. Let's go for Paul Macbeth. Let's go for one of the big dogs here. Paul, like I said, I could. Okay, we have some DM history. I could text Paul, but that would be cheating. Paul's a pretty good responder. And, you know, while we're on the topic of Paul, why not DM the dark horse himself? Let's just go right to Brody. If Brody doesn't respond, I'll also be hurt. Pretty bad. But he's another one, like, Instagram DMs are so up in the air. You just never know if people are... But Brody's decent at responding to these. I won't show every single one of these. I'm going to start cutting through them and only show you maybe the exciting ones, and then we'll get to the replies. I don't want... since I'm just copying and pasting the messages, I'm not going to just keep these all this in. It's just busy work. This is a big one for me, Anthony Barella. And he did play well yesterday, so I need him to answer, because round one of USDGC was yesterday as I'm filming this, so I need him to answer this now in case he collapses. Like, I want him to be in a good mood. Let's get Kristen. Zero chance of response from Kristen Tatar. I've definitely messaged Kristen before, I think. Oh, no. I thought I tried to get her on a podcast at one point. I guess not. All right, Simon Lizotte, another guy that I've definitely corresponded with before. Oh, there's his phone number. Please blur that out, Trevor. Please blur that out. All right, well, I've officially sent out 100 DMs to disc golfers, and now we wait and hope some replies come in and hope that they're constructive. Okay, we have now jumped ahead in time. It is now Monday, October 14th. So when I sent out the messages, as I mentioned, it was Friday. And here's the thing. I had no expectations for this. I didn't know how many replies I would get. I haven't been reading through the DMs. I've kind of just glanced at them just to see and kind of track what I've been getting. And of the messages I sent out, I got like somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 replies, which I did not expect. And I saw some names pop up. Some Simon Lizotte, some Paul Macbeth, some of the big names that I didn't know would actually reply to me. And so I'm kind of nervous, kind of excited to see what happens here. I got a lot of interesting replies, hopefully, to go through. And now it's time to actually read through them and see what people think of my disc golf form. So this should be a fascinating adventure, maybe sad, maybe happy. I'm just happy I got replies to begin with. So I'm just going to go through them kind of one at a time. We're just going to swipe through. I'm going to start with like the ones I've gotten most recently and work my way back. But like I said, got some pretty good ones, I think. So here we go. First one, Albert Tam. There's a lot of pros that responded to me like Albert Tam, who I've never interacted with at all, and I'm just mind blown that he was like genuinely like able to look at this message and reply to me. So I gotta say, shout out to all the pros who like I don't even know, that don't follow me or maybe even Foundation, and still like took the time to reply. That's so nice. Okay, Albert Tam said, hey, I would put 7 out of 10. It seems to me that there are some excessive movements that can be eliminated, and also there is room for more reach back. Well, okay, I'll take that, 7 out of 10. Excessive movements, all right, and more reach back. I will say this: if anybody knows how to throw far, it's Albert Tam. He makes it look effortless. But that's not a bad start. 7 out of 10, and some a little bit of advice as well. So not too bad. That's Albert Tam's input. On to the next one. We got Missy Gannon. Missy says, "You look like a value brand Isaac Robinson. I'd give you a 7." Well, that's interesting. It's funny. Missy was one that her DMs don't take where I wasn't able to send the video because she had her DMs closed. So I just sent the message, but I've played with Missy before. Value brand Isaac Robinson. If she's referring to my form, I think that's interesting. Maybe, I mean, people say I look like Isaac Robinson, but 7 out of 10. Again, not too bad. We'll take it. All right. Shout out Missy Gannon. Value brand Isaac. I've heard that before. Value brand just sounds negative, but I get what she's saying. Fair enough. 7 out of 10. Okay, next. I sent this out to some YouTube disc golfers as well because 100 DMs is a lot. Anthony Bedanza gave me a 7.7. Okay, we're moving up in the right direction. All right, I've played a few times with Bedanza. He's got pretty good form himself. 7.7, not too bad. Next, we got Eric McCabe, EMAC. I like EMAC's form. He gives me a 7.2 out of 10. Not too bad. Look, we're sitting on the 7 out of 10 right now, and I mean, I didn't really have a lot of expectations for this, but as I sent this out, like I feel like my form would sit somewhere close to a 7. From this view that I sent, let's be clear on that. The best looking view I could possibly send. 7 is that, so 7.2 from EMAC, not bad. Okay, next we got Nate Sexton, another guy I wasn't sure. I've interviewed Nate before. He gives me a 6.5 with a thumbs up emoji. That's not bad because Sexton, I feel like he did a lot of clinics. He's like a pretty critical when it comes to form and technique. So 6.5 from Sexton. I feel like some of these pros, a lower score might actually be like make me feel even better than it would for other people because, like I said, Sexton, like 6.5 from Sexton, that feels pretty good. We'll take that. Okay, Nate Sexton, 6.5. I need to like keep track of my average score, and I'll put that like at the end. Casey White's next. I will give you a 7, LOL. Seems like you almost freeze up right before you explode. Okay, another 7 out of 10. This is crazy. It's like collusion between these pros. I get what he's saying. I do think, especially in this video I sent, the most difficult thing I struggle with, like in my form, is like getting stagnant kind of in the middle of the throw. I literally can feel it as I'm throwing, and I definitely think that's something I need to work on. But another 7 out of 10 from Casey White. Here we go. Next, we have Anthony Barella. AB replied with 6. A little bit tougher to take, seeing as, you know, he is my favorite player, but still 6 out of 10. That's still on the positive side of things. Not too bad. No explanation, just 6. But hey, you know, AB's got really good form and he throws super far, so 6 out of 10 is not too bad. I'm going to try not to take that personal. But I might have to screenshot this DM and put it like in the gym for motivation. 6 out of 10 from AB. Okay. Next up, we've got Owen Scoggins. 9. 9 out of 10 from Owen. Now, I will say, Owen Scoggins is like an overly nice person. If you've ever seen her interact with people, she's just super nice to everybody. So that may come into play here, but I'm going to take it. That's my highest score at the moment. 9 out of 10 from Owen Scoggins. We'll take that. That's pretty good. All right, 9 out of 10. That's wow. Now I'm so far nothing devastating. That's good to know. Next we got Eric Oakley. Okay, Eric wrote something here. So as someone with unorthodox form, it's hard for me to judge, but judging honestly, I'd give you an 8 out of 10. All right, not too bad. First off, you need to have your left arm up in the air like you have a question or calling a taxi. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Haha. That's funny because Eric Oakley, if you ever watch him throw, does do that. In fact, there are things you could be doing better, but the main mechanics of your throw are super solid. Tempo is your biggest enemy. The small pause you have could be killing some of your momentum, but could also be keeping you under control. See, there's that theme. I like this. Maybe I'm just going to narrow in that like that's the one thing that's really hurting my form because, I mean, that is not the easiest thing to get rid of for sure, but that's good. But 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Eric. We'll take it. Next, we had Emerson Keith. I actually just ran into Emerson at USDDC. He said, I'm assuming you took a bunch of videos and picked out the one that looked best to you, so I'm going to knock you a point for that. Parentheses, I've seen you throw in videos. Well, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. That was some good sleuthing from Emerson there. I'm giving you a solid 7.5. Everything is there, just needs to be fine-tuned. Okay, 7.5, and he even knocked me a point, so not too bad. All right, we're doing pretty well here. I'm liking this. We're getting into these messages, and nothing too devastating yet. Next, we've got Gannon Burr, the guy who just won the event I was at. This is a big deal. It's pretty solid. The only problem I see really, is timing. It seems like you take a long time before you reach back, and it's very snappy. I feel that you pause too long on your last step and don't have much tempo in your throw. I always recommend having about the same pace every single step until the disc comes out. 6 out of 10. Okay, 6 out of 10, a little harsh, but he's got a point. One thing I've always found with my form that's interesting is the snap that he's mentioning, I actually get well, at least it used to be this way, and this might be the other issues with my form, but I always found that if I don't have that like quick snap where my hand doesn't spend a lot of time back here, it goes back and forward. If I don't do that, I lose a ton of power because I basically am trying to create like a lag, whereas Gannon is able to just reach his 8-foot arm back and smoothly pull it forward and rip the disc super far. So that's the reason I do that, and maybe that is why it's created this weird pause thing, because he's kind of talking about that too, but maybe I need to kind of try and create more of a smooth tempo type throw again. I don't know. It's been a while since I've really messed around with it, but 6 out of 10 from Gannon, not too bad. The two guys that were contending to win USDGC gave me 6 out of 10s. So that's a little bit harsher than some of the other people, but they would be in the right position to do so. Next we got Vino Makala, another guy that was in contention to win. Solid 7 from Vino. Not too bad. Shout out Vino and I just love that all these players responded like during this tournament. It's incredible that people actually took the time to do this. Thanks, Vino. Solid 7, not too bad. Then we have Ezra Aderhold. If 1 is being a new player and 10 being Anthony, talking about AB, wow, he considers AB to have the best form then. Okay. Maybe like a 6. Hit me up after this event. If you want, I can give you some more specific thoughts. Okay, I might have to reach out to Ezra. But there's another 6 out of 10, but we're still staying on the right side of 5, so that's good. 6 out of 10 from Ezra. He does have he is pretty mechanically sound, so I take that advice to heart. Next we have Nicholas Antela. 6 out of 10, another 6 out of 10. Seems like you can hit lines pretty well, but timing is off. I have the same problem, so I feel you. I wish we had the same problems, Nicholas, and then maybe I would be playing professional disc golf instead of sitting here talking about the DM you sent me. But 6 out of 10. Not too bad from Nicholas Antela. Again, with the timing, that seems to be the theme here. That seems to be the #1 theme. All right, we'll keep moving. Ezra Robinson next. Yo, I would say it looks pretty good, except your head is always facing forward. Oh, this is new advice. That limits your reach back, and you won't get a ton of power from that. If you let your shoulders move your head up, that should get you a bit more distance. That's the main thing I noticed. Oh, he didn't give me a number rating, though. That's okay. That's interesting. That's new advice. I need to be writing this down. So far, I got a pause to deal with. You know, this is another one that's kind of similar to what I was talking before, where I feel like I used to really unlock my arm and turn backwards, but I felt like it hurt my accuracy because I just wasn't good enough. But maybe I need to look back into that too. We might be going through a form change. That's good advice. Okay, this is fun. Chris Dickerson next. Honestly, not that bad. Looks like you get to the power pocket correctly, not too high or low in the pull through, and you don't overly turn your head away from the target. So which one is it? Are you see, this is the thing with disc golf is people throw differently. He's going to say 6.5-7 out of 10. Okay, similar range. So he's saying it's good that I don't overly turn my head away from the target. Ezra Robinson is saying I should, and they're really similar in the point standings this year. Turns out, maybe I have to just forget that advice and just keep on with the things that are consistent. Okay, next we have Paul Macbeth. Let's see what Paul had to say. If you're looking for a number, 6.5. If you want why, let me know. I did see this DM pop up and I replied because I was like, if he's going to give me an explanation, I should get it. So he said, you look stiff and not fluid. Your movements once you start your X steps seem to be correct, but you're only doing them because you've seen them done or were told to do them. You're not actually getting the benefit of the movements because it's stiff versus fluid. Kind of harsh. And then he says, it's way better than what I've seen in the past, though. Oh, thanks, Paul. That really warms my heart. This seems like the most brutal, honestly way to say what some of the other guys have been saying, where I'm hitting the right movements. I think it's a really funny way to describe it. I've only doing them because I've seen them done or were told to do them. Like, I mean, yeah, but I'm not actually getting the benefit of the movements because it's stiff versus fluid. Yeah, that I think that's kind of like going in what everybody else has been saying. But this is interesting. I'm definitely getting some direction here. It seems like if I am able to unlock everything, I might be on the Pro Tour next season. Paul Ulibarri, 6 out of 10. Okay, fair enough. Another 6 out of 10. I feel like things are starting to trend down towards 6. We need some more high numbers because our average is slowly moving down. Next, we got Silas Schultz. Oh, no. Silas said, oh, boy, maybe like a 4. That is tough. That is tough. Silas has very good form. That's going to hurt the average. That's going to hurt the average real bad. 4 out of 10 from Silas Schultz. And he doesn't give any reasoning. He does have some of the smoothest form, so maybe it just really hurt him seeing how like jerky and paused mine was. I need a good number. This is not a good streak. Okay, next we have Drew Gibson. Honestly, for a non-tour player, I'll give the form a solid 8 out of 10. You could work on your hunching, but overall I'd say it's pretty good for someone who plays the hobby. Fair enough, fair enough. 8 out of 10. That was for a non-tour player, so I'm not sure where that would rank overall, but I'm going to take it. Yeah, the hunching over thing, that is something I've always struggled with. And I think I initially started that to get away from reaching high with the disc and swooping. I kind of like hunched over and made sure to start the disc on a hyzer angle. And I think that kind of started that, but it's very tough for me to stay upright in my throw. Very tough. Okay, next we have Cole Redolin. You have a good foundation, however, you're very limited. So it's not bad for the way you throw, but to improve distance and consistency, you have to change it quite a bit. I'd say 6 out of 10. Okay, another 6 out of 10. No details as to what I would need to improve, but so far that seems to be a theme. People see the potential, I guess. Next we have Raven Newsom. Okay, shout out Raven because he sent me a bunch of messages. We actually played together in college. We're against each other, I should say. But I got a bunch to read from Raven. So, okay, he says he'd give me a 7. Things I'm really liking. I like that he gave me some some good feedback as well. That really warms my heart. Footwork looks smooth. Loving the weight transfer from back to front in your throw to load your power. You should see the side view, Raven. Not much of a weight transfer. You're kicking off with your back leg well in your swing too, which is really important, if you say so. You're also getting really strong hip mobility from back to front, which is helping your swing stay in line and add power, which is primo. That tends to be a trouble spot for a lot of people. Also loving the height of your reach back. It's keeping the disc nice and level, so you aren't wasting any power from the lower body. I do think I have that part down. That makes sense. Things I'm seeing to improve on. It looks like, at least in the video, you're throwing with a lot of arm in your swing. Footwork is good and clean weight transfer, but with your arm abbreviated in your swing, it looks like you're putting a heavy load on your right shoulder and in your arm during your throw. I would guess in a field day you get a sore shoulder from throwing. Looking at this, I actually don't really get a sore shoulder. Well, I don't do field work. Let's be honest. I guess that would maybe be the first muscle that does get sore, but I don't know. Typically, yeah, I guess maybe. One thing to definitely try to avoid is dropping your shoulder into your swing. Your posture is lacking when that happens, and you'll end up with losing power and consistency in a straight line swing. The last bit to that is when you lean your body into your shot by letting your weight get in front of you, you can pull the disc offline of your swing. So when throwing, we're trying to keep our disc as in line as centered as possible when we lean forward, and we're not always able to keep a linear swing. That was a lot to process. All around, really solid, and your coordination in your muscle groups is great. I think you can build on timing your lower body, your upper body a bit more, and extending your reach back a bit further to get some more control and less late or early releases. Okay, so he's saying that, he said the reach back thing as well, getting more of a reach back. So that is a theme here. Less early releases sounds great. I need that. Next we have Gavin Babcock. I'd go 7. It doesn't look like you use your back leg fully and more just lift it up during the weight transfer rather than drive with it. Yeah, that's more what I suspect. Your form also looks like you'd be hard for touch shots. Yeah, that's why I power grip putters, I guess. Also, rating on aesthetic, 1 point deduction for each. Does that mean I get a 5, or did I had a 9 and I got a 7? I'm going to stick with 7 from Gavin Babcock. Yeah, the weight transfer I think is rough. Sullivan Tipton. Compared to most people that play disc golf, it'd be in the 7 to 8 range, but if we're comparing to the tour level players, it'd be around a 4 to 5. I guess I'll meet in the middle and say 6 then. But that's how I feel with my backhand. Pretty solid compared to most people, but compared to the tour players, I feel definitely rated lower definitely rated lowered. Okay, not too bad. That's fair. I like that he gave me kind of both to look at. Next, we got Scott Stokely. It's not bad at all. It's a 7. It's a good approach shot technique. If I worked with you, I could put 30 to 40 feet on your throw pretty easily. Spoken like a true disc golf coach right there. I'd love to know how to get 30 to 40 more feet. But okay, 7 out of 10. Next, we have Simon Lizotte. Honestly, like a 7 out of 10. Hey, that's not bad. It seems like a little too tense to me. I'd give you an 8 if it was a bit smoother, but technically there's not much wrong with it. That's not bad. Okay, smoother though. Kind of the same thing. That's definitely consistent here, but 7 out of 10 from Simon. I'll take that any day of the week. Then we have Jay Milley, another YouTuber that I reached out to, 7.78. It's a little stuttery, but you appear to rotate on your heels well, appear to generate some consistent spin, and look to lag well. Stuttery. This is honestly a crazy thing that I look at my form and I see certain things, but you don't realize if it's obvious to everybody else, but apparently everybody else sees the exact same thing, like everybody. Then we have Andrew Presnell, 7 out of 10. Simple from the Prez. Alden Harris, I'm no form expert, but I feel like it's a decent 6.8 out of 10. Not too bad, and I think that's it. That's all the DMs. So that was quite a few. Definitely seems like the bulk of the input was to try and smooth things out instead of having that kind of pause, and then maybe to also work on lengthening my reach back. Definitely some good advice from some pros. Shout out to everybody who actually answered that prompt. I really didn't expect to get that many replies back, but that was a lot of fun to go through, and I will be definitely scouring them a little bit further. As far as my average score, I'll put it on the screen right here. That was my average score. I expect that to be somewhere around 6. It seems like that was where it was going to level out, which, hey, that's not too bad. I'll take that for just an average disc golfer. And yeah, that was a good time. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. Let me know whose advice you think you agree with or surprised you the most. And I will see you next Monday with another video.